Wade Pinhorn, and welcome to Team 7, or the Coast to Coast Educators Assignment 2 presentation. We'll start here on the edge of the Atlantic Ocean and make our way across the country to the Pacific in our quest for success in program planning in the 21st century. An analysis of the planning process through the lens of the sections model can ensure that engagement and carefully articulated and mindful planning can occur. While sections defines 4 subdivisions, we will focus on assess, as this is where we feel the substance of the model is situated. We have chosen to take a more macro perspective as we do so, rather than one that focuses on specific technological tools. I'll hand it over to Mabel.
Thanks, Wade. When we talk about training and learning, it is so important that students have the tools to meet the challenges of the 21st century. In today's environment, many institutions offer a number of courses online or combinations of face-to-face online components so that students have that flexibility. In Rhea et al.'s survey, the author suggests that when students have high learning orientation, they usually have wider learning strategies and knowledge exploration. E-learning is also very popular in the 21st century, as many students take the advantage of being able to schedule classwork and around work and family, reduces travel time, and the flexibility of joining discussions online at any hour. In Gooley et al.'s study, they also believe that students with self, peer, and collaborative assessment are the focus towards student-centered learning environment. This way, it allows students to evaluate themselves, which may be difficult in a traditional assessment methods that usually controlled only by the teacher. Over to you, Simon.
Thanks, Mabel. Speaking of students, the 21st century student is in a world of learning that's very different than what many of us grew up with. Barnett Berry, the CEO for the Center for Teaching Quality, points out that they have to master content while processing information from a huge variety of sources, subjects, and cultures. They have to have great collaboration skills, and they have to be skilled communicators as well in order to be effective in our connected and networked 21st century of learning. But students are coming with their own technology these days. They have PCs and they have mobile devices. They're really comfortable using them and accessing online content. They generally value collaboration and online sharing, but the survey work of Kaminsky, Seal, and Cullen points out to us that they also really value face-to-face contact. They want to learn from their teachers. And now, back to Mabel.
Thank you, Simon. Talking about interactivity, online learning has definitely minimized the common barriers of traditional learning environment. One of the major components would be tools such as Blackboard or Weblog, where instructors utilize for online discussions and collaboration. However, one would argue that without that face-to-face component, students and instructors will have that less meaningful connection and relationship building through the learning process. Kinwei et al. Suggests that discussions within the face-to-face classroom setting is more interactive and multi-directional, while online environment continues to face challenges in maintaining social presence while facilitating and sustaining meaningful interactions with students. Next, Teresa will tell us about ease of use.
Greetings, this is Teresa Tonsitich reporting from Vancouver, BC, beautiful British Columbia from the West Coast. It is important for learners and faculty, students and instructors to be able to access networks and information easily and quickly. This is very important when making a decision on ease of use and selecting that technology. Today, we are already using new technology such as computers, laptops, devices, internet-capable tablets, and iPhones. It is important to consider the usability of these types of devices for both the students and the faculty and how easily they can get using them. Finally, knowledge of many different technologies is key in selecting what may be appropriate for the classroom or long-distance use for both faculty and students. Choosing options and making considerations based on how easily the students can access the information, how quickly, and how easily can the faculty learn and use this new technology. These are all important pieces of information that the program planner needs to consider when selecting new technology for use.
So novelty is another reason why teachers would choose an online method of learning as opposed to traditional classroom instructions. Ku and Laura did a study, and they actually found out that students are quite intrigued at the social aspects of online learning and the development of an online social community. They actually enjoyed meeting students and instructors and reading their biographies from all around the world. Also, Hu and Johnson found that even though this day and age, students are quite used to technology, interactive methods such as updating a wiki, things like that, is actually very engaging for their learning, and it really helps them focus on their course. Not only for the students, but teachers also find this a very innovative way to learn with each other, because Avalos, in a study done in 2011, found that teachers actually collaborate with other teachers in an online environment to help each other develop their courses a little bit better.
Using appropriate technology to maximize efficiency and meet the demands of the audience is very important when selecting new technology. It is also important to consider new technology should not be selected based on the latest and the greatest, but because it is the best solution for the students and the audience. Finally, consideration to the context and geography are very critical to the selection. Rural areas may not have the infrastructure to support the technology, and this must be considered when making this choice for the solution. Both speed and ease of use together can provide the best solution for the new technology for the audience. Thank you.
When we think about organizational issues in 21st century online learning, Avalos, in a study done in 2011, indicated that there are some contextual factors we have to take into account when program planning. For example, we have to think about the country the institution is at, the cultural background of the students, any government policies in that country to plan out our program. In a case study done in by Malkowi in 2007, he looked at some Jordanian law schools and he found out that it was hard to transition from traditional learning to 100% online learning without a blended phase in the middle. He also found that during online learning phases, it's better for teachers to have a website resource page, much like what we have in our Moodle today.
Thanks, Eden. I imagine we're all familiar with the traditional costs of learning, facilities, staff, books, materials, etc. But of course, in the 21st century, we do have new costs. Students require quality computing equipment to build those important skills in self-directed learning, and institutions need robust infrastructure in order to provide for those in-class experiences and online learning. But they also have a new decision to make. Do they embrace open source technologies, which are cheap to acquire but do have that significant configuration and maintenance burden? Or do they license something proprietary with that big first year cost and those annualized maintenance fees that they're going to have to budget for? And of course, they'll make that decision based on their needs and their ability to self-support. But if we focus solely on this acquisition and maintenance cost aspect, we neglect something important, and that is the cost of training our academic and support staff in how to make best use of the new technology and how to understand the shift in pedagogical responsibility that comes along with these new tools with respect to the academic development, support, and maintenance staff as well. We can't overlook the costs in learning how to teach in the 21st century with 21st century tools. And now, over to Wade.
Thanks, Simon. By viewing the sections model from a broader perspective, we determined that in order to engage the new learner, technology must be integrated into the 21st century learning environment. Interactivity with technology, ease of use, novel approaches, and speed are paramount in terms of the learner's independence, self-motivation, and self-evaluation. But even today's e-learner craves the interactive nature of a live classroom. Administration must invest in facilitators to create champions of technology-mediated learning. This requires substantial funding and human resources, and the level of this investment will vary greatly. Although there isn't a unified TML standard, addressing organizational issues can assist in its establishment. If we are to facilitate the educational journey forward, 21st century program planning will require more than a token application of technology. Technology must be the medium through which the facilitation of learning occurs.